Okay, welcome back. So we're on the last question in the 2020 paper. We're on to question 40. So we have a diagram, and the length of each of the sides is given in terms of x, which basically means x is a variable. Say, for example, if x was 2, this would be 6. And of course that would make this -2, which it couldn't be. So there's a straight away an alarm bell going off in terms of x has to be bigger than 5. Show that there's only one value of x for which the triangle is right angled. Okay, so let's remind ourselves of Pythagoras' theorem. Basically it goes in both directions. If you have a right angle triangle, you get the hypotenuse, the long side squared, is equal to the sum of the squares on the two shorter sides. But also Pythagoras says that if you have a triangle in which this condition holds, which they're saying here, at least we're going to use the fact that clearly this has to be, now it says x is a natural number, which means this has to be bigger than these two. Okay, so this we're not saying it's a right angle, we're saying if it's a right angle, and then the truth of it is that x plus 4 all to be squared will be equal to x minus 4 all to be squared plus x minus 5 all to be squared. Now, by the way, we should think about strategy and think about how difficult this problem is. There's a lot of algebra here, and another strategy would be to do it with trial and error, or with knowing a good few triangles. Like the very famous one is 3, 4, 5. However, there is a gap of 8 and a gap of 9 here, so that wouldn't work. I'll just try another one here. 5, 12 and 13. We look at the gap. The gap is 9. Now, gap of 9, that's a gap of 8. This is a gap of 9, so that wouldn't work. And two of them are right next to each other. No, they're not. There's quite a big gap there. So I'm just going to try one more, which you say there's no way on earth I would have known this. No, that won't work either. Will it? It might. There's a gap of 9 here, is there? 9 and 8. And there's a gap of 9. No, look. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to have to do it the hard way. But I tried to do it an easier way and it didn't really work out. So let's square these up. Now, we learned how to square things like this. You square the first, you multiply the first by the second is 4x and you double it, and you square the last. Okay, so that would need to be equal to x squared. You multiply that by that and you double it. You square minus 4, you get plus 16. I'm going to put the square of this underneath. Negative 5x, negative 10x, 5 5 is 25, it's positive. Okay, now I'm going to cross some stuff out. And that just leaves 8x on this side. And he comes back to minus 8x. And that leaves x squared on this side. It leaves minus 26x here and plus 25. Now this is very, very easy to factor. It's going to be two negatives. Now by the way, sorry, we're solving it to be equal to 0. Why are we solving it to be equal to 0? Because they were equal, and if I brought everything to one side, it's equal to 0. So, but look, it's very simple. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to 25 and add to 26. Well, that's 25 and 1. That's one of the simplest cases. It's a trivial case for this. Okay, so we're getting this in factors. So we're getting x has to be equal to 1 or 25. Now straight away, this has to be discarded, because 1 negative 5 would result in a negative 4 side length, which we're not allowing. Okay, so it looks like 25, which tells me my triangle then, using this 25, will be 25 take 4, 21, 25 take 5 is 20, and 25 plus 4 is 29. And That is another famous Pythagorean triplet, but I didn't go up as far as that. Yeah, it's a tricky one anyway. This is a multiple of 4. Okay, I could have got it alright, but it would take being quite serious about learning off a lot of Pythagorean triplets. So forget about that for now. The algebra has told us that and they did tell us there's only one value of x. So they've given us this triangle, but we have to go back then and answer the question, which is that just x equals 25. As always, students, I'll see you in the next one.